John, thank you for an amazing speech. I really enjoyed it, and I noticed how when you came up, you automatically started off with just a great pace, and you added the emphasis to certain words, which made it sort of drew me in when I was listening to you, and I found that it was very enjoyable. Another thing that I noticed is that you created your speech in such a way that when you started off, it was to develop a connection, or that's what I felt was going on at the moment, that it was to develop a connection with the audience, the people that were listening to you. So you used humor to create that connection. You also asked us a question and said, okay, everyone raise your hand if you drink 1 drink a week, or 2 drinks, or 7 days a week drinking each day. And I just felt that was a really great way to draw people in, to make it a nice experience where we could actually take part in it as well. As far as some points of improvement, because evaluations are all about that, I did notice a few things. There was one part of it where you were talking about how your brother, or pardon me, your uncle, your mother's brother had diabetes, and what I noticed with that is that you said his brother, and so that was a little, and you know, maybe you intended to do that. For me, it sort of threw me off a little bit. Not that the speech was sacrificed in any way, but I felt that my concentration, perhaps the audience concentration, was taken away in that moment, because in that time I was sort of wondering if you meant her or his, or what was actually going on there. So I would call that improper pronoun usage, and you might want to just go over that and just see if you could do it different next time. And another thing was, if you could use space, you have a really great presence, and I felt that if you could use the space just by walking around a little bit, that it would really add to the pace and the emphasis that you place on each word, and it would help to draw me in even more. Another thing was that when you walked up, you walked up sort of from this point, and then I heard you say the words "thank you" when you were talking to the person that introduced you. So you were talking to Noel. The way that I've always been sort of trained in this is that the first words that you say is when the timing starts. So you may not want to start your speech by saying thank you. You might want to start your speech by just really giving the first line every bit of emphasis you possibly can to draw everybody in even more. All in all, I think it was an amazing speech. I really did enjoy it. And at the end, I noticed how there was a few rhetorical questions, of course more engagement, more connection with the audience, and it makes us think about things. And also that the entire speech was laid out in a very logical order, so that everything made sense. You tied in some very personal stories as well, and the connection that you had with the audience made the personal stories even more impactful. So that was a really great job. And then at the end you summarized everything by wrapping it up, and your overall point, the emphasis that was added at the end was, drink responsibly and let's all have fun and have a good time. So thank you very much for a great speech.